detectives on the trail of sex addiction, and unfortunately we came across a dead end because no one at that time wanted to speak to us, and therefore it's kind of strange. I think at the time in the media it was very much in the public eye, sex addiction, and what it did, it closed a lot of doors, so no one wanted to speak to us. It was very, very difficult. So then I said to myself, I need to talk to experts in the field, and the two experts that we found, the ones who were, pretty high regarded, were in New York. We went over there, we had conversations with them, and then they in turn introduced us to sex addicts and people who were suffering with the affliction, and people who were recovering, and that was the sort of seed, and that was it. And I thought, okay, let's shoot this in New York. That was it.
For Mr. McQueen, obviously in the film, Brendan is very well put together. He's got an immaculate apartment. He's got an immaculate look. He has a great job, or at least provides.
Apartments are really small in New York, aren't they? They're not particularly immaculate, but never mind. Go on.
But from the outside, he looks like everything is together.
Sure.
And on the inside, obviously, he is breaking, especially when Sissy comes into the picture as well. Was that your experience with your research? Is that almost all of these people had a facade where it was normal, or? I
think most people with addictions are pretty. I mean, most of them could sort of get into the CIA, meaning that there's a situation where they hide it even from themselves. That they do. I don't have a problem, and if they do have a problem, they're very careful about sort of hiding their tracks. It's just one of those things which sort of is involved in addiction in general. Yes, Brandon is this person who has everything, in a way. But within that, he is putting himself into prison by his act. He can't help it. And sex addiction is not about, again, being promiscuous. I mean, a lot of people are promiscuous, but this is all-encompassing. This is a situation where the addiction dictates to the person what it wants. It controls the person. So it becomes a certain situation where, the addict or the person who has this affliction has no choice, has to facilitate the addiction.
You show his spiral, but the thing about it at the end, Brandon accepts the fact that he has this addiction, but he doesn't really seek help about it. Was that kind of like an active choice that you?
We don't know that.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Okay.
We have no idea.
We see him later on the tube. Time has passed. Mm-hmm. You don't know what's happened in that period of time.
No. Life is much more complicated than happy endings. Mm-hmm. We hope to have a happy ending, absolutely, but it's just one of those things where, he has to find it himself, or how he's going to do it, I don't know. Does he stay on the train? Does he get off the train? We don't know. And just what Michael said something quite beautiful the other day, that, it's almost like as an audience, we go into the movie in a way as if the movie has already been playing, and we leave at a certain time, and when we leave, the movie will continue to play, so we don't know. I don't know. I mean, not everyone, it's just difficult. It's just difficult. I mean, he's not necessarily a talker, but yes, eventually, possibly, he could find out, but we don't know.
It's very raw and, frankly, a brilliant film, and it probably took a lot of courage to bring it to the screen. But due to the heavy subject matter, it was probably going to receive a lot of resistance from day one. Were you prepared, no matter what, to make this film and bring it to fruition?
It was kind of easy. It was no problem at all. Everyone talks about NC-17 and easy, and it was difficult. Actually, I wanted to make this film. They were very helpful, supportive, and it got made. Maybe it should be. Yeah, it was terrible. It was hard. It was like, oh my God, it was kind of fucking. Sorry.
Also like the film coming out, Fox Searchlight, they, you realize, that there's really sort of passionate, intelligent people that enjoy films that are challenging. And, the sort of idea, I think, that has been sort of portrayed that Americans are not comfortable going into those sort of scenarios. That's just absolute bullshit.
Nonsense.
The 70s movies that, came out of the country that really inspired me to start doing this were all about that. Films where people would actually have conversations days later about it.
Provocative and challenging movies. And I imagine the majority of the people in the movie business now came out of that area of seeing movies like that. And I think, that's why, we are fortunately enough getting a lot of attention, because I think it reminds people of those times.
Is the U.S. the only place that has the NC-17 kind of rating thing? If that's not anywhere else?
Like a mark of death almost?
Well, it's 18 in Europe, isn't
it? But it doesn't mean anything. It does,
I don't believe it does.
No, I think it doesn't. I think you have 18, but it's 18. But you know, I think they're very loose with that, and also you can advertise on TV, you can advertise anywhere you want. There's no censorship with the.
How soon did you all know that that was going to be the rating? It's pretty recent.
Yeah, again, I don't know. Again, I just said it before. I don't know what NC-17 was. I thought it was a rap group. Someone's given me a CD. I'll have it. Thank you very much. So I mean, you know, I think but all seriousness, we're artists, and you know, and what I mean by that is that we're trying to make something which kind of portrays reality, and sometimes we don't necessarily want to see what reality looks like, or it's, you know, we want to turn away from ourselves. And often people put their heads in the sand like an ostrich. And I think what the cinema screen is, in some ways, is a place where actually we can actually see ourselves and actually have some idea or gauge ourselves in some ways of where we are and how far we got to go in one way, shape, form, or the other.
So in other words, what you're saying is filmmakers, you don't really care about it as much as all the people who sit around, like us, who take more.
Well, it's job descriptions, isn't it? I mean, like you guys do your job. I can't do your job, which is sort of, you know, represent an impression of what you see.
Right.
You know, that my job is to go in and act.
Which is good because it makes better films. If you guys don't worry about it and allow us.
It's the case. We don't go into this situation without responsibility. This is a responsible film. You know, this is a very responsible film. So it's not to say that we don't care in any way, because I wouldn't necessarily do a horror movie where people get sort of chopped up into several pieces and put in a frying pan. I find that very irresponsible filmmaking, but apparently it doesn't make it's not
more normal than a penis on screen.
So you know, and again, I mean, if I made his film set in 1951, he'd be walking around in his pajamas, but he's in the privacy of his own apartment, and most people, you know, a lot of people these days don't wear pajamas, so it's just normal. You know, there's no shock. I mean, you can see, you know, 2 clicks on your iPhones here, you can see the most explicit pornography you could think of. So it's ridiculous. But that's how it is. That's how it is.
a lot about our culture too. That we're more concerned about that than we are.
Yeah, but for me, that's not. For me, I totally understand why they did it. But all I care about is that people are allowed to see the film. That's what I care about. If that's the rule, fine. I respect the rules. But as long as it doesn't prevent people from going to see it, that's all.
Now, you guys have worked together before, obviously, and you're actually set to work together again on another film. Can you talk about what are the strengths and things that you find in working with one another? I mean, obviously, you've developed a good relationship, and with this film especially, it shows that, you know, you work good as a dynamic, sort of a, if you'll forgive the pun, dynamic duo. But, you know, you guys are really good together, I guess is what I'm saying. So what is it about one another?
Well, I'm black, man.
What is it about each other that you think allows you to work so well together? We could sit with that for a
I think trust.
Yeah.
It kind of all goes around trust, really.
Absolutely, absolute trust. I mean,
Yeah.
it's